Hi everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. This is my July Inspired By series, and here you can see I was inspired by Amanda and Rise and Procraftinate, and I took this as a personal challenge. So I'm going to share with you the card that I made with my Simon Says stamp card kit, and that's the one that included the Home Sweet Home stamp set. It's a really cool stamp set if you like making slimline cards, which is what she made. It is not what I made, but it is what she made. She has no idea that I decided to feature her this month and that I've been secretly planning this for the whole month. She showed me her card and I was absolutely floored. Amanda is very new to Copic markers. She knows her way around an alcohol marker, but she's very new to Copic markers. And I was so impressed that she's decided to kind of give them a go on the regular, that I felt like she needed some extra attention this month. She also did a very fantastic inked blended sky. And if you've been around Amanda's channel long enough, you know that ink blending is her jam, 100%. Amanda is a technique junkie. You can always find something cool and interesting over on her channel. That will be linked below. So will the video that features this Simon Says stamp card. Now, I have known about this card for a while. And my video was waiting for her to post her video. Amanda, what took you so long? I have been sitting on this footage just waiting for you to put your card out. So you can see I am stamping my images here. I'm using this Couture Creations platform. I do have a review up on my channel. I do pull it out and use it often, but I go a little bit more into depth on the platform itself in that review. And if you're interested in it, have seen it, I would suggest that video because I talk about all sorts of things and I try all sorts of things with it. Anyway, so Amanda built a scene, which she's not a scene builder either. She built a scene with her stamp set. She used some Trinity Stamps dies and she paired it with this Simon Says stamp set here, and it's a fantastic card. Like, a fantastic card. And I'm sure she had no idea when after she posted her video I said, can you send me a picture of that card? I didn't want to screenshot it. Normally I do. Normally I just screenshot something from their videos when I do this, but I wanted her actual picture. So I'm going to show you the coloring. It's a very simple coloring that I did on these. What I did is stamped it on my paper and then flipped it around and stamped on the other side, and then I kind of filled in the middle with all the extra little pieces. This brown combination is the E40s family, and I do have this what I call the color cam here, and I turned my images over. Normally this is very hard for me to color this way and not kind of at an angle because I am sitting, well, you can see where my hand is coming in. So from this angle, I'm at the top of the screen. So sometimes it's hard for me to color upside down. So if I have to turn this, you know why. Then I decided on kind of a, I would say like terracotta color for this. It kind of just read Spanish to me when I looked at that like scallop roof on it. I just thought it would be kind of cool. So Amanda made a slimline card with this, and this stamp set is set up for that. I believe she used a very similar color combination on her clock tower, so you'll have to double check. But the stamp set is set up for a slimline card for sure. It's one giant stamp that has all these houses and like this scene, but I decided I wasn't going to do a slimline card because when I made this card, I had not made a slimline greeting card before. I do have one up on my channel now that was made after this video, and in the past I have made wedding invitations in that style, but not like the traditional trendy slimline cards that are going on now. Which still are kind of intimidating to me. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what should I do to get over that intimidation factor. I would like to join in and be part of the fun, but they just seem so big to me. Like there's so much white canvas, white space. It just is hard. So for my card, I decided that I wasn't going to pull in all the extras. She did. She went and got them Trinity Stamp dies, and used those, and cardstocks, and sparkle and glitter and, all this fancy, wonderful, amazing Amanda stuff that she does. I didn't. I decided I was going to use just bits and pieces from the card kit, and I had to get a little bit creative with how I was going to do that. This building here with what she called a clock tower, and I see it. She colored in terracotta. I'm using some neutral grays to color mine. I just thought it looked like stone, but it is brick, so I don't know why I didn't color brick. Probably because I colored the other one like terracotta, and I didn't want two terracotta things. I was looking for this more subdued palette, kind of just more subdued colors when I did this. I will in the end make like a twilight night scene, and I wanted everything to kind of look muty. Is muty a word? Muted and kind of moody. So I guess muty would be kind of the combination, right? Between muted and moody. I just made a word. I know. It's late. I'm sorry. So I just shaded this with the lighter E70s here, which are kind of a grade brown. And I thought that they looked very much like an HOA color on this building here. Thought it was super fun to do. There was this like cosmic mousse stuff in this kit, avocado something or other. I did end up using that. I have never used anything like that before. I wish I knew where I said it, because I would read off what it actually was called. But it was a little tiny tub of cosmic glittery goodness stuff. Oh, here I cut everything out. I trimmed it all out with my scissors. I know, gasp. I don't have a scan and cut. It doesn't take very long to do. These were small images though, so I did have to leave a white border, even around the shrubs and the water fountain and all that. I did leave a white border. You'll see how I deal with that a little bit later. But I kind of wanted to lay out my scene, and then cloud pattern paper. Someday somebody will make me a whole pattern paper pad of different kinds of cloud pattern paper. It will be my dream come true. But I needed some green, and this little special delivery cut apart thing here has green. So I am trimming off as much of this green as possible, because the kit didn't come with any green cardstock, and I wanted green. So those are going to be my pieces of ground. And now I have my sky, my pieces of ground, and all's right in the world, right? So I was trying to figure out how I was going to lay this out. And at this point, I was like, I probably should have cut that piece a little bit different, like cut the 4 1/4 side first and ended up with 2 4 1/4 side pieces. I don't know. It does work out. So I am just trimming these. You don't need a die. I'm just making some hills, using my scissors to make some curvy lines, make some hills, make some interest, add some interest to the background here. It's nothing special. Could have used a die, but it didn't. I didn't want to pull out a die. So there. So I just trimmed all that. And then I wanted to kind of match the little white background. First I colored the water on the fountain before I got a little bit too far. Then I wanted to match like the stuff that was going to be up in the sky. And I pulled out this BG 90 marker. I think it's 90 or the 93. I pulled it out and I kind of scribbled it on the white part. It's not what I end up using. It doesn't exactly match. But I think it does help in the end because, Copics are transparent and they layer. So I think it added to the match that I do get. So then the kit came with the new speckled egg distress ink. And it's pretty. It's not what I expected. It is muted. And I told you we're going for a muted, moody card. It's really muted. And it doesn't seem to be as saturated a color as I imagined it would be. But I ink blended it over this background, and you can see it really didn't do much for it. It was like, yeah, it matches that pattern paper so well, but it did kind of knock down the white in the clouds. So then I pulled out another little distress ink here. I think this is Stormy Sky. And I'm just going to ink blend over this pattern paper. Now, Amanda, like I said, technique junkie, she will ink blend everything. She's so good at it. I watch her ink blending sometimes and I'm like, that is goals, girl. Like goals. Like straight goals. I wish I could ink blend like that. I wish I had that creative mind to put things together the way she does. And if you follow me for any length of time, you know that Amanda and we're not only very good friends, but we are success partners. Not basically, like, we don't want to make it rich on YouTube because that's not really a thing in the crafting world, just so you know. What we want to do is become successful enough to where we feel like we're impacting the crafting community, and we want to do it together. We want to hit our goals and our milestones, and we push each other and we pull on each other, and we are very good friends. But like I said, I sneaked this video. She had no idea. I even showed her this card, but I didn't tell her what was going on. Sometimes you gotta have sneaky friends. It's okay. So here is just making sure that I had the ink blending on the sky enough. I didn't want it to be the bright white clouds because I'm going for that kind of twilighty night sky where it's not quite all the way dark, but it's pretty darn close and the moon is out, you know. I'm going for that scene. So here I'm just kind of laying out my stuff. This is not where it all ends up. Actually, well, some of it's close, but it's not where it ends up. But I'm just kind of seeing how it's going to work, seeing what I need to do, how I need to take care of that white space. So I decided I was going to add some dimension to my hills because they don't have enough dimension. So I ink blended on here with some green distress ink. Now I did add in these two distress ink colors, the other blue and the green. I figured I am staying pretty close to the card kit, but because it came with the distress ink, I feel like the people that got this kit probably have distress inks in their stash. So I didn't feel like I was going too far outside of the kit by doing that. Let me know how you feel about that. If pulling in the distress inks was just too much outside of the kit or not. So after ink blended that, I used my famous removable Scotch removable tape to kind of adhere everything together. Just makes it easy to stick everything down. And I decided that this like clock tower thing needed to be way up here on this hill in the background. And I'm just going to start kind of piecing everything in. And I did use liquid adhesive. And here's where I brought in, I think this is a G28 or the 29. They're very, very similar in color. But the G28 or G29, this marker matches the green really well. So I was able to kind of hide that white border because some of these images are super tiny. They have these little tiny chimneys on the roof. It would have been really hard for me to fussy cut them perfectly. I mean, I could have, I do have skills, but I did this specifically to show you that if you struggle with fussy cutting, you don't always have to get so close. You can hide a border. It's not that big of a deal. And if I would have left the border, it's still not that big of a deal. If you buy coordinating dies to things, there's usually an offset or like a white outside of it that, you know, kind of is highlighted. So here I just did the green parts, just went around the house where the white is, where it backs up to the green. The rest of it I did not put green on because I didn't want green in the skyline. I thought that would be silly. So here I'm just placing everything, kind of poking around where I want it. Now, in Amanda's video, she talks about a little mistake she made. And I'm going to call you out. Your houses are crooked. They're not that crooked. They're not that crooked at all because you'll see in my photo, I totally honored you. My houses are crooked too. It's hard to make things straight sometimes. If you've been around here for very long, you know that I don't do rulers very well. I even have a T ruler that I sometimes trick myself into thinking that will work for me. And I get it out and I try, and then my stuff is even crookeder. I just struggle. If I eyeball things, usually they're pretty good. But you see that house in the middle? It's crooked. It's totally crooked, Amanda. It could go in your city 100%. It would fit in just like it belonged all the time. So I trimmed everything off after I was done sticking down my houses and my hills. And then I have this airplane here. I added a little bit of foam tape to him as well as his banner. and I'm deciding where I'm going to put everything. And then I was like, oh, that house is crooked. And I tried to fix it, but it's already too late. So I adhered the moon down directly to the background. And the moon I did trim out right in the line, and then I used my black marker around the edges. I didn't want a white line around that. And then for the clouds, I kind of staggered them, cut a few of them in pieces so that I could have bits and pieces so they didn't look like all the same cloud that's hanging out there, when in fact it really is just like two different clouds. And then I'm going to pop this plane up kind of in the middle here with the banner. I'm going to stick everything down, and I am going to call all the bits and pieces done. I have now stuck down everything, and this is my scene. And then I just need to finish it off. This would be a really cool card to do light up stuff with. I haven't really seen anybody do that. But here's that avocado-y, moussey, cosmic shimmer stuff. I don't know. I've seen people do it with their fingers. I just pulled out a paintbrush and like painted it over top of the windows really lightly. It adds super cool shimmer and shine, and it does kind of have a green shift to it. And I think that's why it's called avocado or whatever it is. Because it looks white right there, right? But over the yellow from the windows, it actually looks really cool. It like glows. So if you were putting it over your windows, I think you did it right. And then I'm going to add it to the moon. I did add a little bit of shimmer there, and I will also add it to the bottoms of the clouds. Kind of add a little bit of a silver lining to these clouds that are up there. I don't know if I do that right away or if I take my time. But I was like, oh, how pretty is that? It's super cool, and I loved it. And then I adhered it down to a piece of gray cardstock. I believe that came in the kit. It's been a little while since I played with this kit. Amanda, it took you forever to get your video up. So I put it on gray cardstock. It does coordinate well because I did color that one like thing gray, and then the house, the roofs are gray. Here's where I brought the shimmery stuff back out, and then I was trying to see what the name of it was, and I guess I didn't write down, and I don't know what I did with it. I think I put it away. Imagine that. I put it away. So I just went along the bottoms of my clouds and like smeared it with my finger, make sure that it was like not going to rub off, and that it was nice and, secure. And it didn't rub off. Once I put it down, I didn't even move it around with my finger at all. It was there. So any questions on that stuff, that's all I can tell you is I used a paintbrush, I put it down, and it didn't smear. I was able to like scratch it and scratch it away with my thumbnail on the houses where it had kind of got outside of the line. Oh, then I took a different paintbrush and just kind of buffed over it just to make sure I had it. And then I decided on some glossy accents for the clock and some shimmer pen for the water. Just thought it would add just a little bit more. I love this card. I think it's super fun. And I hope she appreciates that I chose her this month to be inspired by, when in fact I'm inspired by her all the time. Not only for her card making, but she's my go-to person when I don't know how to do something, when I have questions about technology, when YouTube is not giving me the analytics or answering the question that I want. We talk about all sorts of things like friends do. And I'm inspired by her every single day that I speak to her, and I speak to Amanda every single day. So Amanda, I am sorry I kept the secret from you. It was very hard. It was very, very hard. So for the inside, you see me stamp that row of houses. I did that with that speckled egg distress ink. I know that distress inks, people say that they don't stamp well. I find that they don't stamp bad. I wouldn't stamp like script with them, but an image like what I did, I made sure it was inked up well. I put it down on my paper, and I left the stamp there for a few minutes, well, not even, a few seconds, for the ink to completely transfer. Sometimes we pick up our stamps just a little too fast, and the ink is like, whoa, George, I didn't have a chance to hop across to the paper. So just leave your stamp sit for a minute. Let it chill. Then I just refolded my card base there. I always recrease them or reinforce the fold afterwards. Just a habit, sorry. And then I adhered down my card to my card base, and that is my card. I would love to know what you think. I will have the link to Amanda's video and her channel linked below. I'd love to know if you think I did Amanda's card justice. I know they're very different, but I was absolutely inspired by her, and I hope you are too. And as I always say, thank you for stopping by, and give cards generously. Bye!